Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I hope that you're having an excellent start to your Tuesday. And today we are diving really deep into making sure you're charging what you're worth online. So, the reason that I'm really excited to go over this today is because I think so often we think about like being really kind as like giving people a discount or giving all of our knowledge away for free. And we talk so often on social media about value adding content, that stuff that's you're giving away your best tips for free. You're making sure people are getting progress on social media to build that trust factor that sometimes our brains, I think, are internalizing this and thinking, hey, we have to give everything away for free in order to make an impact and to be good people. But we really need to make sure that we're working on that other side, the money mindset of charging what we're worth. And the reason that this is so important is because people who pay attention is something that I keep hearing and keep reading. And I think it's finally clicked for me in this way that you're almost doing people a favor and enrolling them in their desires and enrolling them in their dreams if you make them pay what your content is worth. So you can kind of relate to this, I'm sure. If you get something for free or if you enroll in a software for free, you don't have that sense of urgency or that sense of scarcity that you're going to get started right away and actually improve your life and change those systems that need to be set up. So same deal when you're charging for your products and services. And if you feel like you're stuck in the hustle and you're making money only from working more hours, that's typically a sign that you need different systems and a different mindset in order to make sure that the money you're making is allowing your clients to get the best work from you, because no one is getting the best work when you're burnt out. So I want to describe some of these in this idea of, when you go online, you always want to make sure that you're giving every piece of content you're sending out a job to do. And one of those jobs for your social media content is to make sure that you're producing value that shows people you're an expert to be trusted and that shows people they want to pay you what you're worth. So I'm not saying stop giving stuff away for free, for sure. But when you're charging and you're deciding like to price your course or price your product, make sure that you're not stuck in the mindset of everything has to be given away for free. And we get scared on social sometimes, but remember, you need that omnipresence to gain people's attention. So omnipresence in the sense you need to show up on every network. You need to show up within a strategy and an approach that allows people to know how to find you, how to get that information you're putting out there, to be relevant in someone's life and to gain that intimacy so that people become excited to pay for you or services. So someone's not going to be excited to pay for your services if they don't have that intimate relationship and that trusting relationship with you. So put yourself in front of the right people more often and get that idea of this mindset of having an omnipresence on social media. Again, that means being on every network possible. Of course, we always want you to gain your attention from the network that you get the most engagement on, because that engagement is a signal from your followers that they want to communicate with you there. So don't think that I'm saying you have to actually go out and spend a ton of time on every network. That's why you use tools like MeetEdgar in order to make sure that your content is created in the form that your followers have told you through their likes and engagement they like to consume the most. However, in the program like MeetEdgar, you can just check off where you want that content to go and it can go everywhere. So that omnipresence is going to be your first step. Make sure that you're visible on all of these networks. Put yourself in the right front of the right people. Beyond that, you might have to do a little bit of work, especially if you're just getting started, to get your program out in front of the right people. And that means DMing people. That means having one-on-one relationships with people and being willing to hear the word no when you're selling. I think that's another mindset shift that we can take to make sure that we're charging what we're worth, because if we hear no a lot, it's going to get in our brain that, oh gosh, we might be charging too much. This isn't going to be something that people want to pay for, because that word no is obviously a little bit negative. But I think hearing the word no should be motivating for you, because if you're getting in front of people and they're saying no, that just means you're saying, good, check that off the list. They weren't perfect for my program. Let's move on to the next person. So if you're having sales calls or if you're actually reaching out to people over DMs and you're hearing a lot of no's, don't let that get in your head that your service or product is priced too high. you want to make sure that you're just seeing those no's as the next step and that opportunity to get to that yes. And the more you make these calls and the more you DM people, the closer you're getting yourself to that yes for the right person to see the value and want to pay for your product or service. So don't be afraid to reach out to people, and don't take no as a way that's getting in your mind that you can't price for more. And lots of times when we're reaching out and we're having like sales conversations, we get a little bit nervous because we're like, oh, what's the person thinking? What are they going to think of me? But I think a helpful mindset shift here to take is your clients often are just a past version of who you were, especially if you're a coach or especially if you're someone who's in the service industry. If you're helping people get to another level in their life, improve their life, you want to think about the fact that you would probably pay for that in the past version of yourself who needed that service. So have that in mind with other people too. People are willing to pay for you to help create a change in their life with your products or services. So think about how you would be willing to pay someone to get that same change in the past version of yourself. That's a super helpful tip, I think, when it comes down to selling this. So another way of saying all this, enrolling people in their dreams and making sure that you're getting in front of the right people and making people feel really good is that you deserve, those people who you're helping deserve the change that you're putting out there. So in your social media posts, look through your copy and see if you can get a little bit more these desire words into your social media posts. What do your clients actually desire? What do the people who need your product actually want as an outcome to their life? Now, if you're selling on the phone, we're talking here a lot about social media posts, DMs, but I know a lot of you probably have like discovery calls with people to help people enroll in your program. And so often in our minds, we can maybe start to back pedal and think a little bit more about, maybe I am charging too much, etc. So if you are selling on this phone, I think it's especially important to sit down, take a deep breath, and have the confidence of the price you're about to say. So if you're someone looking to raise your prices right now, I think when we start to blabber a little bit more on the phone, it kind of gives our clients less confidence in us. So when you're selling by phone, simply say the price and then be quiet. Listen to what the person says. Don't feel like you have to justify the price you just told them. This strategy is going to do you wonders. So make sure that you kind of have that in your head. All right, so simply make sure, especially on the phone, that listening is a part of your strategy way more than talking is another way to say that. Listening is always good. On social media, we talk about social listening all the time. Take that to your phone strategy if you sell on the phone a lot too, because that's going to help you tailor what you're telling people, how your product or service can help them so much more. If you're listening to the language and the words that they're using, and your ability to kind of reflect that back to them is super important. And if you're doing this really right and you're pricing yourself right when you actually sell to people, it means that you can actually start working with less clients, So if you're pricing more and working with less clients, you're going to be able to make the same amount of money if you were pricing less and working with more clients. You see how those two things correlate there? So you have to decide for yourself which version that you want. And remember, the less clients you work with, the more that you can start to over deliver. And I think that over delivery part is super important, especially on social media when we're putting ourselves out there. Often you hear it said you want to over deliver, but I think over promise has to go along with that. And this is a little bit funny to explain, but stick with me for a minute. If you over promise someone something, they're going to get super excited. And then you want to over deliver from that over promise, right? So don't just think about these things we hear so often of under promise, over deliver. Try to go towards over promise and over deliver so that people are excited to pay for you up front. And you're setting that expectation up front that they're going to get a ton of value, and then over deliver, give even more value than you promised. And that's how you create raving fans. And when you create raving fans online and you get all of these people super excited, that's when word of mouth marketing starts, and you'll get the benefits of having referrals. And then you won't have to convince people yourself that you're charging this price because of the amount of value you're going to offer to their lives. And that's really what word of mouth marketing and brand awareness on social media, that kind of magic sweet spot, is all about. We talk about branding a lot, I think, and so often branding kind of can be this like high in the sky pie thing. But it really is, just what people are thinking about your service or about your product when you're not there to tell them what to think. That's kind of how I like to think of branding. So when someone like sees a Nike commercial on TV, let's say, and they say to their friend the next day, oh my gosh, I saw the most inspirational commercial with XYZ athlete. It was so cool. That is what branding is all about. It's about making sure people are compelled to tell other people about the experience and the feelings that you're given when you see content from that specific brand. And this can help make sure that your money mindset is incorporated in this, because if you hear people talking about you in this great way, again, you're going to feel more comfortable charging people. So remember, what feeling do you want your content to give people that they're going to be really excited to consume your content and to continue to build a relationship with you to get to that trusting factor where they feel good about paying for you? All right, so that's what we need to start thinking about. And I hope that you guys got a lot of value out of this video. If you have a small business yourself and you're looking to get more tips on how to price, there is a link in the description of this video here that you can go a little bit further on our blog. And I'll leave you just really quickly with a quote that I actually heard on a podcast of Brendan Bouchard's today that I absolutely love. And it was, when you're tapped into your mission, motivation is not a factor. And I think this is the last mindset tip that anyone ever needs to hear when it comes to being confident about putting yourself out there on social media, is when you do it in a mission-based way, that mission of enrolling people in their desires, enrolling people in their dreams, your company values incorporated in there, you're going to be so motivated and you won't have to sit down and actually give yourself a pep talk and stuff like that, right? So make sure you do that first step of writing the mission statement of your actual brand and of your actual company out so that you continue to be motivated to sell to people. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Love having you guys here. Oh, hey, Kathy, thanks for saying hi. And let me know in the future what kind of topics you're interested in learning. And we'll be back again tomorrow with another live stream. Thanks, guys.